What's up, A to Z Sports Titan Game Day live up here at the rooftop at Acme Feed and Seed, getting set for Titans and Colts. Gonna have a great game today and a great crowd up here at Acme's rooftop as the college football playoff rankings just came out finally. Alabama and Texas get in, and a great reaction here from the crowd at Acme Feed and Seed. But talking here about Titans and Colts, the second game of this divisional rival matchup here of this season. I'm Austin Stanley, Jack Gentry. Shout out real quick to Spirited Hive and Ranch Water, who have great game day specials here for all of the home games at Acme. And so, Jack, before we dive in here, let's get this thing going and tell the people what they got to do.
Absolutely. It's Colts Hate Week. We're all glad to be at Acme today. We're glad the Titans are at home today. It's where they've played their best. While we've got our audience filing in right now, I encourage everyone watching on Facebook to share the show to your Titans Facebook groups. Let's get that out there. Let's grow the audience, grow the conversation. We want to hear from everybody ahead of today's game against the Colts. Titans are looking to avoid a sweep since 2018. Next, if you're watching YouTube, turn your notifications on. Tap that bell icon at the top of your screen. Make sure you get an update every time that A to Z Sports goes live or post any content to their YouTube channel. You don't want to miss a thing. Finally, if you're watching via Twitch, text that Twitch link to your Titans text groups, your family members, your relatives, whoever's interested in this Titans game today. Let's send that link out. Let's get everybody in here, and let's all converse about the Titans and Colts together. But, Austin, it's time to get this thing on the road.
Yep, let's do it officially, and thank all of our game day partners for our Titan Game Day Live content this season, live streaming pre-game, half and post-game shows on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all season long. Shout out to X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. The Mint Gaming Hall, just 35 minutes north of downtown Nashville. Bet MGM, the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, wherever justice demands. Chimney, your chimney experts. Adventure Science Center, and Jarrett HVAC and Plumbing. So, Jack, this is the X Golf pregame show presented by our friends at X Golf Nashville. A great place to keep golf season going as we're in December. It doesn't feel or look like December here in downtown Nashville. The sun is out. Nissan Stadium looks great across the river behind us here at Acme. And I do feel like the situation with the Titans, again, they're in a weird spot where if you win this game, you're right there in the thick of playoff contention. If you lose this game, you're going backwards, and draft order is what we're focused on again. So, Jack, how are you feeling? What are the vibes here? As similar to last week against the Panthers, the Colts are way better, but where are the vibes for you right now?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. The Titans are in the hunt to be in the hunt. A win today would go a long way for that. A lot of people have written the Titans off already, including quite a solid portion of this fan base. However, there's still a slim chance to keep the season alive. And look, the Colts have won 3 straight. They're a hot football team. Everyone remembers what Gardner Minshew did to this Titans defense coming in for relief for Anthony Richardson earlier in the season. Can the Titans capitalize? Can they figure out what went wrong in Week 6 and get that right at home to keep defending Nissan Stadium as they've been doing all season long? It's been rough everywhere else, but whenever they're in Nissan, things kind of seem to fall in place for this team.
Yeah, and so a lot of things are at stake. The Colts are good on the road. They're 3-1 on the road this season. The Titans are 4-0 in Nissan Stadium this season. The Colts have won 3 games in a row, and Gardner Minshew never won 4 games in a row as a starting quarterback, and also Will Levis has yet to find a way to win back-to-back games in his young NFL career. So we'll see which of those numbers, how many of those numbers do break and which streaks continue here. So let's talk about this because we had the same conversation last week. I think it's relevant today and it's even more relevant today because of the passion behind the Titans and Colts rivalry. The fact that the Tennessee Titans don't want to get swept by the Colts.
No.
If you win this game, you're still 2 games out of a playoff spot, most likely. If you lose this game, you're going to be in a good spot for draft picks. If you win the game, you're going to be right there with all the other 5-win teams in a very cloudy, muddy picture. There's going to be 4-win teams ahead of you in the draft order. So, Jack, I'll ask you and the chat here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, how much do you actually want the Titans to win this game? 1 through 10. 1 being you don't want them to win all 10. You were on a 10 last week against the Panthers. I expect you're at a 10 again, but what is your answer here, Jack?
Yeah, for me, every time the Titans play the Colts, it's a bloodlust rivalry almost. Like, you can't lose to the Colts twice. They haven't been swept by the Colts since 2018. It's a big game every time you play, and a lot of Titans fans remember the 2000s where the Colts had the Titans number just year in and year out. The Tides have turned a little bit, but you can't let the culture go. You can't let what Mike Vrabel has established, in this division slip by getting swept by the Colts with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. The Colts are a rebuilding team just like the Titans. It just feels like they're a little step ahead of where the Titans are right now. Now, Gardner Minshew, they're going to let Minshew magic run as long as they can, but Anthony Richards is going to come back eventually. However, that being said, it's a pretty even fight heading into today's game. The Colts are 1-point road favorites, which you don't see a whole lot. But then again, this Titans team doesn't leave a lot to be trusted when it comes to odds making. So it's a fun game today. Austin, when you ask me 1 to 10, where am I at? It's a 10. It's always a 10 against the Indianapolis Colts. And I know a lot of Titans fans are interested in getting this prize draft pick to get left tackle.
Yeah.
You can still do that by winning today. You're not going to fall behind the Colts. The Colts have a much easier schedule than the Titans do down the stretch. Don't worry about slipping behind the Colts and these other teams. 5 wins, 6 wins, you're still going to be picking in the top 10, but it's about maintaining this culture in a down season. How can the Titans find a way to beat a divisional rival at home with a rookie quarterback who has shown some signs of doing some things? You can't let the Colts put your foot on your neck right now. There will be better times ahead, but right now, it's about pride today. Today's a pride game, and that's why I'm at a 10. I really want to see the Titans beat the Colts and split the series this season.
All right, so I'll go to the chat here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Steven says he's at a 10. Jonathan thinks it's a win-win situation. A different John says 10. It's the last chance for a win. The Colts are favored by 1 point. We expect the Titans to be underdogs every game moving forward. Deep Fresh says 10. And then here we go. We get the stretch of the lower numbers with Trevor and Guy at 4s. And then Brandon, Brian are at 10. Jordan's at a 10. Roberto says 8. Yama says 10. Levis needs division wins. I think that's a big deal too. Because that's something that you and I talked about in our pregame conversation, is that Will Levis has an opportunity to get a win in his first game against a division rival. He didn't against Jacksonville. That wasn't expected to necessarily happen, but he can do that against the Colts here. And then EA says, lose, please. Get the pick. Have no shot for a Super Bowl. So, yeah, I think everybody agrees the Titans are not going to win the Super Bowl this year. That's a ridiculous thing to even expect or have a serious conversation about. But the playoffs are still alive. Zach and I had this conversation earlier in this past week. This is it. If the Tennessee Titans seriously want to make a push for the playoffs, they have to win today, because they're just 2 games back. If you're 5-7, the teams that are the 7th spot in the AFC playoffs will have 7 wins. Whether it's the Steelers or the winner of the Texans-Broncos game will have that 7th spot at 7 wins. And so you're still 2 games back, but you've got an opportunity against the Texans twice, the Jags again. Seattle is now 6-6, so you have to win this game in order to do it. Burning Devil says 10 all the way. Chandler says 10. A division game is always a must-win.
Yes.
Gianni's at a 1. Matt is at a 9. Enlightened Sean says still at a 10. And Jonathan is riding the fence at a 5. So, Jack, I'm going to say I'm at an 8. Look, I still would like to see this Titans season extend, but I'm totally okay with turning the page and getting real with what the reality is of this franchise, and not just try to hang on to the tooth that won't fall out, which is the Titans' playoff chances.
I understand that. You said the Titans' playoff hopes are still alive but barely breathing.
Yes,
right? They're on the ventilator. Whether we pull the plug or not is probably decided on what happens in the next 3 hours over at Nissan Stadium. So we'll see where we stand after the game. But right now, I mean, going into this game, it's never fun losing to this Colts team. Everybody knows Colts fans, whether they're still supporters after Peyton Manning retired for the Colts, which there are some. It's very confusing why those people still support the Colts, but everyone knows Colts fans.
Once you pick a team, then you ride with that team regardless of who the quarterback is or was.
Sure. My point is that everyone knows a Colts fan. Nobody wants to lose bragging rights to the Colts in a year where both teams are expected to be, kind of middling at best. But I really want to win this game. Every time the Titans play the Colts, it's important to win. But what you said about Will Levis is interesting. You want Will Levis to build a confidence against this Colts team who he's going to see twice a year, every year, for at least the next 4 or 5 years, and then you move on with the second contract, see what happens there. But get these divisional wins. These are important. These are important building blocks in developing Will Levis as a quarterback. It's a Colts defense that's vulnerable. So I expect Will Levis to take another step in his development, maybe win back-to-back games today. That'll go a long way for his confidence and the team's confidence in Levis moving forward, not only this season, but heading into next year as well.
It's a super cheesy joke, but so far it's run true. It's Will Levis starts with a W, and there's 3 L's that follow it right in a row. He started with a W over the Falcons. He lost 3, and then he had a W again last week. Can he avoid his joke of how his name spells out?
Break the cycle.
It's break the cycle of the Will Levis situation. All right, so Jack, let's ask the X Factor question that we do every pregame show here, presented by X Golf, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. What is and who is the X Factor in the Titans' chances to win over the Colts today? So what is the X Golf X Factor today? I'll let you get to yours, Jack. But first, let me tell you guys all about our friends at X Golf Nashville. They have reinvented the indoor golfing experience with the best and most accurate golf simulator on the market today. You can play any of the best courses, not just in the States, but across the world at X Golf Nashville, located in West Nashville, near Belmead and Bellevue. xgolfnashville.com is where to go. It's a perfect spot for you as you're approaching holiday season. Have your business and corporate holiday parties at X Golf Nashville. Have gift cards be a part of your stocking stuffers this holiday season with X Golf Nashville, and get it started at xgolfnashville.com. So, Jack, I'll send you the chat on the X Factor for today's game.
Kendrick on Facebook starts us off with Derrick Henry. That's an easy X Factor. Let Levis loose, says Jonathan Earl. Let him sling it around the yard. Big Jelly on YouTube says Traylon Burks. Roberto says pass defense. Jody says Autry. Chandler says the whole O-line, which has been a popular answer all season long. Stephen King says the fans. It feels great out here for December. It's a great home game to be in attendance for. I expect the fans to be an X Factor as well. Good answer, Stephen King. My X Factor is Autry, says the Crooks process. Levis has to be upright from Dion Bonner. O-line from Ruben. Traylon Burks and Levis working together from Steven. The D-line has to make Gardner Minshew uncomfortable. That's a good answer too, Robbie Ellis. Austin, mine's not a person. It's a number.
Yeah.
The number 20 is the X Factor today. The Indianapolis Colts have scored 20 points in every single game this season, outside of that game they played in Germany against the Patriots, where they got away with 10 points and still won the game. 20 points is a number the Titans offense has struggled to reach this season. They've only hit that number 3 times. Interestingly enough, all 3 victories, the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Falcons. But the Titans haven't scored 20-plus in a game since that October 29th game against Atlanta. The Titans offense has to find a way to score 20 points at the very least if they want to win this football game. I think today's a great chance to do it.
Yep.
The Colts defense, we saw Derrick Henry struggle to get out of the gates against the Colts the last time they faced each other. Colts defense hasn't gotten a whole lot better. They're still giving up 129 yards per game on the ground. Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears would be a great day for them to get loose up in that second, third level of the Colts defense. I think the Titans should score 20 today. That is my X Factor today's game. The number 20.
Number 20.
If the Titans can eclipse that number 20, they'll have a great chance to win.
Okay. I like it. For me, my X Golf X Factor is stopping Zach Moss. It's to have the chance at redemption over the guy who had 195 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns and broke your back last time in Indianapolis. Zach Moss started it off with a big 50-plus yard touchdown run. Then late in the game, the Titans are trying to fight back. And key third and passing. And Zach Moss not running, but catching out of the backfield, has a back-breaking third down conversion. He was all over the place. Jonathan Taylor's out with his thumb injury. You've got to be able to stop Zach Moss. A lot of people brought up Danico Autry, who's a big player in the Titans front on defense. We talked about this defensive front last week, and that was the number one reason why I thought the Titans beat the Panthers last week, was because the fourth front, Simmons, Autry, Key, and Landry all did phenomenal job against the Panthers in running and passing. And I think you have to see that again. The Colts O-line is way better than Carolina's O-line. And so that's going to be a much different challenge. But if Zach Moss can stay contained and you put Gardner Minshew in situations where he has to throw the football, that's the way the Titans are going to win. Because honestly, I think I feel okay about the Titans coverage group in SMB, Fulton, and McCreary. With those three guys out there, I feel okay about it. Like I don't think they're going to be phenomenal. They're not the Legion of Boom. They're not my man catch no balls from the Titans just 4 or 5 years ago. They're not that. Don't get me wrong. But I feel okay. I feel like they're not going to get sliced and diced up and down the field like they have at times. I think McCreary being back and Sean Murphy-Bunting being back to play their natural positions and helping out Christian Fulton as long as he doesn't get flagged for 3 penalties.
Yes, Michael Pittman's a tough challenge for Fulton, but remember, it was Josh Downs who really beat the Titans in that first matchup. So Roger McCreary probably going to be lined up against him pretty often in the slot. He's going to have a big role in today's game. Can he shut down Josh Downs? Can he make Gardner Minshew push the ball downfield, which is not one of his strengths? It's interesting to watch.
All right, so we also heard from Derrick Henry this past week, who said 43 yards is cringeworthy. That's how many yards he ran for against the Colts. He broke out a little bit last week and had 2 touchdowns, but only around 70 yards against the Carolina Panthers. Treylon Burks is back. Kyle Phillips is inactive. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Colton Dowell is active for special teams play. Dowell is going to be the backup punt returner, it seems, behind Eric Garrer as a starting punt returner. So how do we feel about this offensive passing attack? You say the special number is 20 for you, but Treylon Burks being back, do you have any expectations? Do you feel any level of expectation for Burks back in his first game since he got hurt over a month ago now?
Yes, I do. That is for the Titans to take more deep shots than they have in the last couple of weeks. Treylon Burks, one of their most explosive weapons on offense. He struggled when he's been on the field in his Titans career with drops, with some issues in catching the football. Today, I expect them to send him deep. I expect Will Levis to air it out multiple times, whether that's to D-Hop, Chris Moore, or Treylon Burks. I expect the Titans to push the ball down the field because the run didn't work last game, but that's because the pass wasn't working. If Will Levis can stretch this Colts defense down the field, then that'll open up holes for Derrick Henry, in the running game. So I expect Treylon Burks to have a couple big catches today. I'm looking for 50 yards from Treylon Burks. 50 yards, 3 catches. You give me 15 a catch, I feel pretty good about that.
And that's what we talked about, was it Thursday when you and I had the conversation about like what do you expect, or what do you need to see from Burks to climb out of the bust category? And I think it's that. He's got to play 6 games. Play today and finish the season being available for the rest of the year. Average around 50 yards a game. Figure out how you can be a role player in this offense before you need to figure out how to be a star player. The biggest thing I'm concerned about with Burks is him putting too much pressure on himself. And then a drop happens. And then once one drop happens, another mistake happens. You line up incorrectly. You wipe off a good play. We've seen that happen so far this season. First, you got to be able to stay out there and stay healthy. And you can't just have self-inflicted mistakes by a penalty because you lined up wrong or dropping a football when you were open.
And Austin, he's been away from NFL action, game action for just about a month. So I want to see them like they would with a young quarterback, get him going early with easy catches across the middle where he can use some of that yak ability that he has. He's hard to bring down after the catch. So maybe a little slant, maybe a little sideline comeback, something like that, just to get him involved and get him in a rhythm early. He's going to be important in today's game plan. So I want them to get him involved as much as they can to start this game in the first quarter and, build some confidence with Levis and then eventually work him downfield and set it up that way.
Yep, no doubt. A to Z Sports here live, the pregame show from Acme Feed and Seed. We've got Spirited Hive and Ranch Water specials for every home game this season to take advantage of. So check that out, Spirited Hive and Ranch Water specials here at the rooftop at Acme Feed and Seed. Great weather here in downtown Nashville. Should be a dry day for the Titans. So hopefully that could mean some points. But Jack, let's get to our bingo board. We've been waiting. We've been a couple boxes away from hitting a Titan bingo for like a month now. Are we finally going to get a Titan bingo today? But first, let me tell everybody about our great partners. That is who powers our bingo board. The Mint Gaming Hall, just 35 minutes north of downtown Nashville in Kentucky. The Mint Gaming Hall, is where you can stop by their center bar to watch all the games this bowl season and play up to 1,000 games at the Minton Gaming Hall to see what your chances are on winning and winning big in Kentucky. So you can stop by. I've mentioned that. I mentioned it last week. Bowl season's upon us. We'll find out all the bowl matchups for later this month, later today. And that's a great spot to post up, play a bunch of games all day long, and watch college football. Sign up for the Players Club. It's free, and you have a chance to win up to $1,000 in free play. The Mint Gaming Hall at themintgaming.com. So, Jack, I'll throw the bingo board up on the screen. We know we need the Titans to score 30 points, and that gets us a bingo. We know there's a couple other opportunities in this as well. NWI could have a 100-yard game. I'll say this, because that used to be a Trum Burks 100-yard game. If any receiver not named DeAndre Hopkins gets 100 yards, that box is getting checked.
I like that.
Because that's a rotational wide receiver box. So a 100-yard receiver not named DeAndre Hopkins gets us a Titan bingo as well. So, Jack, what are you seeing from the bingo board today that you feel confident in?
You know, that Titans defense played with a confidence last week. They did just about everything they could to bring that game home for the Titans in the second half. I expect them to get after Minshew. I expect them to be opportunistic. They won a turnover battle for the first time in about 2 months last week. I want to see that continue. So I think a defensive touchdown, if they get to Minshew, rattle them early, I think that's in play.
Yep.
You just got to – no matter what, you have to check that division win. You've got to check that off. It's December, and we're still looking for one.
Yep.
Get rid of that square, please.
If you don't check the division win box today, then the sweep division opponent box in the top left only has one opportunity. Oh, I guess you've already lost the Colts. You've already got one opportunity against the Texans. So, yeah, you've got to be able to get that division win and not drop to 0-3 in the AFC South.
Chig touchdown also.
Yeah.
Remember last year, he got going late. Like the last 6 games of the season, Chig really turned it on. We saw him have a big game last week, or at least the biggest of his young season so far. So can he put back-to-back performances like that together and find the end zone? That's going to be big if you're going to look to break that 20-point barrier.
Yeah, no doubt. You got the fireworks going off behind us. I think an opportunity for a Chig touchdown, a Chris Moore touchdown. Kyle Phillips is inactive today, so that's not going to happen. But those are what I have my eye on for our Titan bingo here today on our pregame show. I do want to get to Ryan had a super chat. He's asking, are we skipping super chats today? No, the pregame show flows on a very strict timeline because we have a deadline right behind us with the game starting. But Ryan says, only fans want to lose out. Said what I said. So, I
hear you, Ryan.
And Jack's right there with you. It's not just fake fans. It's also the jaded fan, the scorned fan, the fan that feels like that they have been hurt and been misled with what this season is. And I don't disagree with somebody who feels that way. I think you have every right to feel that way because the Titans sold a very different opportunity for outcome this season, and it hasn't lived up to it.
You don't want to lose this game. If you don't want to win this game against the Colts, then yeah, sure, I'm going to question how big of a fan you are. I'll go ahead and do that because I'm a big Titans fan. I don't want them to ever lose to the Colts, whether they're having a down year or a great year. You can't lose to the Colts. You've got to keep you got to maintain this dominance that you've held since Mike Vrabel took over them. I can't stand losing to these guys. I can't believe that some Titans fans would want to lose today. There's plenty of opportunities for losses after this game. This is probably the last gettable game of the season for the Titans, and it's at home. Miss me with that loss. I don't want to lose this game to the Colts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So, and I will say to Ryan's super chat, way more fans were wanting to win this game than were wanting to lose this game when we asked the question to get the vibe check earlier in our pregame show presented by X-Golf Nashville. Jack, let's get to prediction time here on the show presented by our friends at BetMGM. You can win big all season long and all year long with BetMGM by signing up with our bonus code ATOZ Sports. That's ATOZ Sports, and then go big with your first bet because you get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. So that's BetMGM code ATOZ Sports. The Colts are favored by 1, so it's very much a pick 'em in this game. So we want prediction time here on the show as we are roughly 5 minutes away from kickoff behind us at Nissan Stadium here from Acme Feed and Seed. I'll start with the chat, and then Jack, I'll let you cook up your prediction. Kendrick says Titans by 8. Roberto says Titans by 3. Koss, I'm guessing that's a Titans win by a touchdown. Stephen King says 20-18 Colts. Kenneth says Titans by 4. A 3-point win by the Titans. All of these wins by the Titans have the Titans going over that 20-point mark, Jack, except for Teddy comes in here with a Titans 17-16 win. Koss also has Derrick Henry going for 100 plus. A lot of Titans predictions to win here, Jack. What is your prediction here on the show?
Look, at this point in the NFL season, Vegas is usually pretty dialed in. The Colts are 1-point favorites today. The total is 42. If you follow A to Z Sports like you should on every social media platform, you know that we gave the under 42 today. I think that hits. I think this spread is spot on, just with the wrong team. The Titans win 21-20 today.
Oh, you're flirting with that over. That's maybe a game-winning field goal chance for the Colts, or maybe it's opposite, right?
It's going to come down to the final possession. It always does, it feels like, in these games. I just think the Titans have more on defense than the Colts do. If Will Levis can hit a big play to one of his receivers early, gets him a good shot to get to 21, which I think will win you the game.
All right, my prediction, Jack, I have no idea how it's going to get there. 19-17 Titans win. I don't know how the Titans get the 19 points, but I'm feeling it. It's going to be goofy, going to be weird, but field goals and are going to be a combination of things there. How you get to 19 is 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. So that's how you're going to get pissed off. Nick Folk could have a big day if you want to get to 19-17. But I think the Titans win this game to get to 5-7. They're 4-0 behind us in Nissan Stadium so far this year. They're undefeated when we're at Acme.
Yep.
So we'll see if that continues to go. And I said this on Friday. Average to above average teams in the NFL don't win 4 in a row. The Colts are an average to an above average team. They've won 3 in a row. Gardner Minshew's never won 4 in a row in his career. They're not going to win 4 in a row. That's just not what they are. I know the Titans are not even an average team at this point, but it's hard for average football to be consistent in the NFL. So we both predict Titans wins. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that'll do it for us here. Shout out to all of our friends, and special shout out to Acme Feed and Seed, and also game day specials here at Acme from Spirited Hive and Ranch Water. Also, special shout out to all of our partners for Titan Game Day Live, Venture Science for Jarrett Fire, Chim Chimney, BetMGM, the Mint Gaming Hall, the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. This has been the X Golf Nashville pregame show. Kickoff is coming up. We'll be right here for the halftime show from Acme. We'll see you then. Appreciate